Hi, welcome to AFTV. I've got Julian with me. We've just lost to Newcastle 1-0 here at St James's Park. I think the thing that I'm most irked about is after last season, you'd expect Arsenal to come back with a, energy, a bit of aggression, a bit of make sure you win your battles. Maybe I thought about this when Robbie was speaking, maybe because, the whole ref situation, we don't want to do silly mistakes and get players carded or taken off. They were a bit more cautious. And I know how Newcastle are, the dark arts, but today you can't say the performance today, I'm sure, Julian, was acceptable.
It wasn't acceptable, but you've got to look at the reasons why it wasn't acceptable. Because when you lose 1-0 in such a disappointing circumstances, what you just said is blatantly obvious. It's not acceptable, but I think what we need to do, and
break it down then.
A better question would have been, why is it not acceptable? Yes?
Okay, so answer it.
Okay.
If you want to, you can ask your own questions and answer them.
Oh, good.
Off you go. No, you're not holding the mic. Go on, carry on.
Okay. So
why?
Okay, so the first thing I'm looking at is,
which I actually answered. I said from last season we were very angry with how the refs, how Bruno Guimaraes, elbowed our player. So they should have been up for it. There should have been a revenge there. So I said why it's not acceptable. Well, go on, you give your answer.
Yes. So the first thing I'm looking at is the reasons why not, and then you can narrow it down. So the first thing is we look at the referee. And that wasn't the reason today. The referee was pretty much the same for both sides. You can sometimes come up against a brilliant opposition who just play out of this world. Newcastle are not that opposition. They're a workman-like team. They came with a pretty standard game plan of all their...
Pretty standard. I mean, they shut out the midfield. They suffocated Saka. They suffocated Martinelli. I wouldn't say it's a standard Newcastle side. They done well to shut us out.
I'm not saying they didn't do well, but when you're playing superior opposition, which Arsenal are, then you have a game plan which is suffocating the space. And that's exactly what Eddie Howe did. And what he did, you can expect that, because that is the obvious way to play superior opposition. Now, the other thing is, and Lee said a couple of times, we've been unlucky, it just isn't our day. I think that's nonsense, absolute nonsense, because of the way the two teams set up. I'll look at the goal, the Newcastle goal. People say, what a great goal it was.
It was a great goal.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
It was a first-time cross, and it was a great header. How is it not a good goal? How is that not a great goal? How do you stop that?
All right. Okay, how do you stop that?
Go on.
Great question, well done. Okay, so how do you stop it? You stop it in the same way as Newcastle stopped us. You deny Gordon space. The reason
you can't do that though, Julian, because the ball's gone to Anthony Gordon, and his first time crossed it. Timber is not. It's almost impossible for a player to get in front of Gordon to block that cross where Timber's starting position was.
Absolutely.
Correct.
Absolutely. It's impossible from where his starting position is, but where it was all about space today.
So you're saying Mikel Arteta is not an intelligent manager? Because what he does, he brings Timber in to go into an invert and try and add to that midfield where it was lacking to try and get possession to go forward. So you're saying Mikel Arteta must be not an intelligent manager because it's worked before, maybe not today.
Okay, so where I would say, and you're getting to the point now, is that the reason Arsenal lost was because of the tactics. Because exactly as you said, you identified that Timber wasn't in the right place to basically make it difficult for Gordon. Any professional player at the level of Gordon, and he is a good player, and Isaac, you give them that much space and they can put that ball in. And once that ball was...
I disagree.
It was easy for a player of that level to put a ball in because he wasn't under pressure, because he had the space. Now...
He did it first time, June. It's not like he took a touch and looked up and found... He did it first time. So, yeah, you have the space. But even if a defender's still in a few yards of you, you can still hit that first time onto a sixpence, onto Isaac's head. So it doesn't matter about... It's an impossible goal to stop. It's a great goal. To say it's not a great goal is ludicrous.
Any goal's a great goal for the opposition.
It's not.
Yes.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
We've seen some bad. We've seen own goals. You wouldn't say it's a great goal. We've seen scrappy goals before. You wouldn't come here and come on the fan cam and say, "Oh, that was a great goal."
No, he had a lot of space, which allowed him the confidence to put that ball in. He wasn't under any pressure. But if you then fast forward, I think it was about 20 minutes when Lee said, "Oh, we were unlucky that was our one shot on target." you know, when I think Marino took a shot.
Yeah, that's nonsense because it's not that's not unlucky. That's good. That's good tactics from the manager.
Absolutely, because what they did, they denied them space. Now, the other reasons why, and we'll come on to I do believe. Now, I'll summarise here. Is that yes, I blame today Arteta for the fact that we lost. I don't blame the individual player performances. I don't blame the schedule because Newcastle had a similar schedule. I don't blame the ownership because I think we've got the depth of squad. I don't blame
Were the
injuries.
players good today?
I don't blame
Were the players good today? The Arsenal players?
I don't think they were good for the system they were in because there were some fundamental issues with the way that they set up, and he did correct it with about half an hour to go. But a few things I did agree with Lee about is the momentum was lost. You know, you play, people were saying Partey, he's a brilliant, you know, he's played so well in that position. There's certain things about Partey, however well he plays, he doesn't have the ability, and one of them is pace, and the other one is being able to overlap. And when you can overlap, then you can create more space. And he doesn't fundamentally have those attributes to play that position. So there was fundamental flaws in the way that Arteta set up, which he did correct with half an hour to go, but too late.
Then what happened after he corrected them? Because if he corrected them, then surely we'd have seen some more, you know, a goal, some shots and stuff. We didn't see any of that. So how did he correct it? How did they correct it?
He corrected.
It didn't work.
He corrected the formation, but as I said, and Lee said, and I agree with him on this, even though we had half an hour to go, it's a bit like...
We never looked like scoring.
We never looked like scoring because we'd lost the momentum by that time. If you have a race with someone and you allow them, it's like that race I had on Monday, is that I allowed Brett, because he cheated a little bit, to get in front of me.
He didn't cheat. How did he cheat? You're doing a charity run. It wasn't an official race. He didn't cheat, Julian. You just lost.
No.
Like you did with this argument. Thank you very much.
No.